And we're just waiting for the live stream to actually begin. Does take a couple of seconds. And then we also need to make sure the chat is actually working. Oh no, it appears the chat might not be working. No, it appears that YouTube has done something once again and the chat is messed up. But don't worry, I shall read out all of your chats. Or at least as many as I see when we are attempting to do this. Okay, so in today's live stream, what we're going to do is we're going to try and predict all of WrestleMania 41. Is what the idea is going to be. I'm not even entirely sure if the chat is even working. That might make going live together with the entire Grand Cat Grand Fleet a little bit difficult. If no one's able to actually type anything. In fact, it might even cancel this entire live stream if that is not the case. Okay, we can see a few people are now typing things. The Floppa says hello. BBF Lord says hi. The Floppa says, I am also Cat. Hi. Yes, I am well aware of who you are, Big Floppa. I have seen many of your videos. You are indeed a big grand cat, to say the least. Okay, so the chat is now working, which is good. I had to refresh the screen. So hopefully that is going to remain. Unfortunately, the chat is not appearing down here, and again, I do not know why that is. As you can see here, it does show that the chat is supposed to be on. Let me try turning it off, and then turning it back on again. There was someone asking for deckless profiles, and I don't think that actually changed anything, did it? Nope, it does not appear to have done so. Okay, so let's get over the WrestleMania 41 predictions. BBF Lord says, can you read our chats though? The Big Floppa says CAT, this is cat. Yes, I can indeed read your comments. So long as I can read your comments myself, that is the important thing, I suppose. So let us go over to the the Floppa says, I don't know if he can. I most certainly can. Don't worry. We are going to go over to the Discord server, and that is other YouTube notifications. And you can see here that our good friend S. Clark, who runs Soul World Order 2, has set up polls for each of the matches for WrestleMania 41 for us. So, there's going to be 7 matches on night 1, there's going to be 7 matches on night 2, and this is not an easy WrestleMania to predict. So the first match is Jey Uso, he just me us, day 1-ish, is going to be up against Der Ring General Gunther. Now, I have a feeling that they are going to give the belt to Jey Uso because of the way the storyline has been going. However, Jey Uso is also very popular with the audience. I could see a scenario where Gunther wins again. And I'm just not entirely sure, folks, whether it's going to be Jey Uso or whether it's going to be Gunther. I I'm going to go on a wild guess here, and I mean I'm not confident on this one at all. I'm not confident between Jey Uso or Gunther, but on a wild guess, I'm going to go with Gunther. Only 5 votes for Gunther and 12 votes for Jey Uso. So it seems that the Grand Cat Grand Fleet is firmly in the barracks of Jey Uso. The next one is who do you think will win? Will it be Tiffy Time retaining, or will it be LOL Charlotte Flair wins? Well, I would very much like for Tiffany Stratton to retain, so that's what I'm going for. Although I can see Charlotte Flair doing a storyline where she tries to beat John Cena's record if John Cena does indeed beat Ric Flair's record. So it seems that more people are voting for Tiffany Stratton than for Charlotte Flair. And there we are. That was someone being very rude, and they have been removed from the chat. So next up is going to be who will win between LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. William says hello, welcome, Will. Who do I think is going to win? I think it is possibly time for Jacob Fatu to win himself a title, and I think that will put in more dismay into the new bloodline. Either that, or I could see Solo Sikoa accidentally costing Jacob Fatu the title, which is going to lead to the turmoil. But either way, I think we are leading up to a Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa match, but I think it might be for the US title, so I'm going to put in Jacob Fatu, and it seems that 14 votes versus 4 people in favor of Jacob Fatu over LA Knight. The next one is who will win, the New Day or the War Raiders? Well, everything tells me that it should be the New Day because of the way that the storyline is going. However, they have been targeting the surgically repaired necks of the War Raider, and there is someone who has a surgically repaired neck that it ruined their career, and I think that at WrestleMania we might see Big E Langston come in and try and protect the War Raiders, try and protect them from having their necks broken in the same way that Big E had his neck broken. And I think there is a possibility that the War Raiders could very well retain against the New Day if Big E interferes. However, if there is no sign of Big E, I'm going to go with the New Day. And it is split right down the middle. It is 9 votes to each. Next one is who will win between Jade Cargill and Naomi. Well, I think Naomi's on a really, really good run as a heel at the moment, but I think if the storylines are to make sense, then Jade Cargill has to get revenge. Naomi has to get her comeuppance for throwing Jade Cargill into a car window, I suppose. So I think I'm going to have to go with Jade Cargill on this one. And it has 13 votes in favor of Jade Cargill to Naomi only having 5. Then we have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, the Big American. I really wanted to see this turn into a mask versus mask match, of which I would have thought that Rey Mysterio would win. But I think that El Grande Americano might actually win this match. However, I could also see Rey Mysterio stooping to El Grande Americano's level and putting the metal plate in his own mask to basically nullify the mask. I could see that happening as well, but I have to go with El Grande Americano, and most people are going for Rey Mysterio in this one. It's an interesting thing. Now, who will win in the triple threat match for the custody of Paul Heyman? Will it be the tribal chief, Roman Reigns? Will it be Seth freaking Rollins? Or will it be Meow. Meow, 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 meow. Look in my eyes, what do you see? A cat of personality. And I am going to go with CM Punk. I think the entire storyline is all about CM Punk, and I think CM Punk is going to be the one that's going to reign victorious here. And it's split with most people going with Seth freaking Rollins. Wow, that is very, very surprising. Um, William says, I know I love my tribal chief, but we've got to burn it down. That's interesting that most people are going for Seth Rollins out of those three. Now we're into night two. Who will win between Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, or the undefeated at WrestleMania Bianca Belair? Now, I was 100% set on Bianca Belair is going to win, which is going to suck, but until her promo that she did this weekend. Now, something that most people don't know is that Bianca Belair, before going on her winning streak at WrestleMania, was in a battle royale and she didn't win. So, and what Bianca Belair said in her latest promo is that she has never been pinned or submitted at WrestleMania. And in the triple threat match, she doesn't need to be pinned or submitted to lose. I think we could see a situation where Io Sky could retain by pinning Rhea Ripley or making Rhea Ripley submit, and that Bianca Belair would still never be pinned, still never submitted at WrestleMania. So it isn't exactly the WrestleMania Undertaker streak, which of course Undertaker won one of those by countout against Giant Gonzalez. But I think we could very well see a situation where Io Sky can retain. So I'm going to go with Io Sky. And Io Sky has 8 votes. Rhea Ripley only has 3, and Bianca Belair has 7. William says it would still be a loss for Belair, though. Yes, but she also lost in that Battle Royale match that she was in back when she was in NXT before the streak actually started. So she has still never been pinned and still never submitted at WrestleMania. And I think that might be the storyline they're going for here. And I think that with Io Sky being pushed away and being the third wheel in this match against Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, that Io Sky really, really needs this win. Otherwise, she is going to be buried. She will be mid card if she's lucky if she loses this match. Next up, Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. I think I have to go with the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. 17 votes to 1. Oh my goodness. Yes, I think the entire Grand Cat Grand Fleet are behind the idea that Drew McIntyre will be defeating Damian Priest on this night. Next up will be who will win between AJ Styles, the phenomenal one AJ Styles, or the Prime Minister himself, the Maverick Logan Paul. And for what is, for all intents and purposes, a no reason match, I genuinely think, this is going to be horrible, that the entire reason this match is happening is to push Logan Paul for next year's WrestleMania. So unfortunately, I think Logan Paul might very well be winning this match against AJ Styles, and it is very much split. It is 10 votes to 8 for AJ Styles. Next one is the fatal four-way of the breakup of the Judgment Day. It is Braun Breaker defending the Intercontinental Championship against Finn Balor, against Penta, and against Dominic Mysterio. And I think the end of this match is going to be Dominic Mysterio either pinning Finn Balor or Finn Balor goes for the coup de grace. He has the match won, and Dominic Mysterio pushes him out of the ring and goes for the cover himself. I think either way, I think Dominic is winning. A lot of people are going for Penta. A lot of people think this is Penta's night. Only 2 for Finn Balor and only 2 for Braun Breaker retaining as well. Oh, that changed by 1 there while we're recording. Another vote for Dominic Mysterio. Who will win in the tag title match between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Lyra Valkyrie and Bayley? Well, Considering that Bailey and Lyra went through an entire gauntlet match, defeating 5 other teams in a row to get this tag title match, and Liv Morgan Raquel have done, let's face it, not very much with their third run of the tag team championships. I think this is Bailey and Lyra's night. Whoa, wow, there's a 15 vote for Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez versus only 4 for Lyra and Bailey. I think the purpose of this match is going to be that they're going to be tag team champions. Bailey still is going to want the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and it's going to lead into a match, possibly at Backlash, where Bailey and Lyra are tag team champions and fighting against each other for the Intercontinental Championship. Salem says, nah, Lyra and Bailey won't win. Yeah, maybe you mean win, what to say. William says Drew and Damien will be a match. William says, I hate to say it, but Logan Paul here. And then we have, well, before we have the main event of John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, we do have the Randy Orton versus an unnamed opponent. The unnamed opponent could be the likes of a returning Aleister Black. It could be a returning Rusev. It could be Nick Aldis taking off the suit. It could be any number of returning superstars. It could be any number of new debuts. And whatever way it is, I'm not sure that Randy Orton actually wins. I know that people have said that is it Backlash or is it SummerSlam takes place in Randy Orton's hometown, and they think that it might be Randy Orton versus John Cena for the title there, but I genuinely don't know. But I think that whoever Randy Orton is against, for a surprise appearance to come back, generally the win goes to the surprise opponent. 7 people have voted for Randy Orton, 3 people have voted for the mystery opponent. Now we come down to the big one, the main one. Who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes retaining, or is it going to be the brand new heel John Cena in his very last WrestleMania appearance, winning the 17th championship and leaving with the belt? I think that there is more stakes and more stakes on the line if John Cena wins. And there's 15 votes for John Cena versus only 4 for Cody Rhodes. Wow. We could very well be seeing a brand new heel WWE Undisputed Universal Champion in John Cena. And let's take these and let's see, who do I think are the most likely? Gunther versus Gio, so I'm not very confident on. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. I would like Tiffany to retain, but I am not sure. You can never tell with Charlotte. Charlotte Winslow. I genuinely think that Jacob Fatu is winning the United States Championship here. I think the only way that he doesn't win is if Solo costs him the match, and if that leads into the next feud, if maybe they feel that they don't need the US title in the line between Solo and Jacob, but I think Solo versus Jacob is what we're leading towards, and I don't know whether the belt gets involved with that or not. The New Day versus the War Raiders. It could go either way. It depends on whether Big E is able to do anything at WrestleMania, is what I think is the difference maker here. I think if Big E doesn't interfere, New Day win outright. I think if Big E comes down to help the War Raiders, because they've been going after the surgically repaired necks, then I think the War Raiders retain. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I think Jade Cargill needs to get her win back in order to push her properly. Although I do see the idea, if Bianca Belair does win the women's title and Naomi wins, I could see Naomi being the #1 contender and they continue the story of that going into Backlash. I could see that happening as well. So I'm not sure on that one. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. This one feels like it could just be on any episode of SmackDown, and I'm not sure what they've got planned, what they've got in store to make it a WrestleMania moment. So I couldn't tell one way or the other, but I would be more likely to say probably El Grande Americano so that it leads up to a bigger thing in the future. I think the way this storyline, I think it's going to be CM Punk. A lot of people are saying that it's going to be Seth freaking Rollins. Um, I can also see the Tribal Chief winning as well, but it's this one is really, really difficult to actually say which one it is. TB Supercard says it's Stone Cold on SmackDown. Is he? Is he showing up on SmackDown tonight? I've not heard anything about that. Next up, night two. I think it's unfortunately not going to be Rhea Ripley, but it's a coin flip between Io Sky and Bianca Belair. I mean, Bianca Belair is sort of undefeated, but she also said that she's never been pinned or submitted at WrestleMania, and that leads into the idea that Io Sky could pin Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley is the one that's definitely not winning, but also I think if Bianca Belair wins here, then it would completely bury Io Sky, and I don't think Io Sky would ever see a shot at the title for a long, long time again after that. I think Drew McIntyre is certainly going to be the winner in the Damian Priest match. I think that one is solidified. Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. I think they are building Logan Paul up for a future thing, and I think we could see Logan Paul winning this match here. I don't think he'll win it clean. I think there will be some shenanigans or interference as Logan Paul likes to do, especially at WrestleMania. But I think Logan Paul is going to win that one. Uh, my money on the Fatal 4-Way is Dominic Mysterio. I think that Lyra and Bailey could win against Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. I'm surprised that there's so many votes against that, but I think that it could very well be Lyra and Bailey winning. And I do agree that I think John Cena may very well be your brand new WWE Undisputed Champion. And then I also think that Randy Orton is going to lose whatever match this is. So, with that all in mind, who do I have here for my WrestleMania predictions? Is the real question here. Also, for anyone that missed it, yes, we did indeed get the heroic crush. Let's go ahead and show him off. There he is. That's what the heroic side looks like, the heroic image. Now let's go into watch party. Let's just go over everyone. Could Rey Mysterio win against Chad Gable? Or El Grande Americano, sorry. Maybe. I don't think Cody Rhodes is winning, unfortunately. I think John Cena's going to win. I think Jade Cargill's winning. I think it's going to be Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. I've got JSO right there, but I feel like Gunther retaining is more probable. Bianca Belair is right there as well. I would like Tiffany Stratton to retain if possible. Again, Charlotte Flair, who's right there. I think CM Punk is winning the triple threat. And what is my last one going to be? Drew McIntyre, I think, is absolutely winning. So there are my picks locked in. That is who I think are going to win And these ones, S. Clark says, hello, Grandcat. TB Supercard says, it's sad that Alexa isn't at WrestleMania 41. It is indeed. TB says, Supercard says, can you read my message? I sure can. And I can read it out for you. There you go. TB Supercard says, it's stupid how she is on a win of Jan 6 and she lose after 6 weeks. It's stupid of how she win of Jan 6 and she lose after 6 weeks. I don't know what that means. I apologise. I have not understood your message. But there we go, folks. That is my predictions locked in. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I loved hearing from the big old Grand Fleet. TB Supercard says Rhea. And I think that is going to be it for this little live stream, folks. I really hope you've all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so that you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And we shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.